Howdy. What's going on? I don't know. I haven't been able to find out what for exactly yet. What's up, Tuck? Steven, Dustin, PJs, how's it going? Jeff, Wimito, Dario. Yeah, he had a warrant out of Jeffco. He wasn't even out 24 hours. Um yeah, I have not been able to find out the exact what the warrant was for, but he was arrested. He's been given a $35,000 cash only bail. I mean, it's painfully obvious. They're trying to do is, hey, Saito, it's not just that they're trying to break him, it's they're trying to get, you got to think about it, guys. All this money that goes into bail, what happens is it sits in trust in the courts until the case is concluded. Now, there are certain conditions that can forfeit it, such as a failure to appear or anything like that. Now, obviously, we all know he did not do that. He's been wearing an ankle monitor. So, yeah, Dario, I agree. I think that's what they're doing. But yeah, I know WTT. One of the reasons they want people to pay these bails is if he's convicted, regardless of what hey Flathead, you still haven't answered me on that screenshot I sent you, by the way. But at any rate, what happens with that bail is if there are any court fees, which there always are, incurred, or if there are any fines. If they convict him and they give him a fine, it automatically comes out of that bail money. That's one of the reasons they like having the bail. They want to have direct access to that money right away to pay the whatever fines may be incurred from a conviction if he is convicted. So, I mean, realistically, they're probably going to try to hit him with some huge fine, and they'll try to keep all that money. Well, WTT, I mean, that's for them to decide one way or the other. You know, it's up in the air. It's a lot of money that's been paid for his bails. And I'm sure Eric knew they were going to try to come after him. Eric's not stupid. He would know they're going to try to just rearrest him. Well, WGT. I mean, like I said, that's for them to decide. I can't speak for them. All I know is if it were me, I would just kind of do a poll and see what people say at the very least. But I didn't. I thought Otto already had everything he needed. Hey, Jamie. Hey, David. Sarah. Yeah, I mean, I just, we all knew it. We all saw the writing on the wall. As soon as he was released, they were going to look for another reason to arrest him. I know Liberty was talking about setting up another pool. Yeah, Chi-Town, I mean, I get that. It's the point is they want that money sitting there in trust because if they give him a conviction, they're going to try to slap some kind of huge fine on him and keep that bail money for the fines. Yeah, I know Fu Manchu. I get that. That's the question a lot of people are asking. You know, it's it's just one of those things. They are desperate to make an example of him. They're gonna do whatever they can. Hey, Bob. They're gonna do whatever they can to try to keep him. They're gonna try to keep the money. You know, it's not just about him anymore. They see the backing that he has, the following that he has. And they're not trying to break just Eric. They're trying to break everybody that supports Eric. They're trying to go after anyone that they can, any way they can. W2T, I mean, yeah, I'm sure he's considered that. I'm sure he's mulled over it time and time again. You know, I mean, we know with Liberty Freak, luckily his conviction, the sentence was suspended. So, I don't know how long for, but Eric kind of scared everybody earlier. He played a joke saying that Liberty got 2 years, but no, Samantha, not kidding. They grabbed him again. All we know, Patrick, is that it was a warrant out of Jefferson County. That's all I've been able to find out, and as far as I know, anyone else has been able to find out. I'm sure Liberty Freak would go late on it later. Yeah, WTT. I mean, I agree. I said the same thing. I'm like, as soon as Jamie, I knew as soon as he got out. Okay, well, once again, they got 10 grand, then they got 20 grand. So they're going to try to see what they can get now. Guys, you got to realize it's a felony charge. If they really wanted to keep him, they would just hold him for trial. They don't have to let him go. It's a felony. They don't have to give him a bond. Hey, what's up, man? 40 plus. If you guys haven't checked out 40 plus, he's doing reactions on that channel, and they're pretty good. I like a good reaction myself, but if they wanted to keep Eric, they would just keep him. They would just hold him and say, hold him over for trial, remand him for trial, whatever wording they want to use. They did not have to give him a bond. Nomad, it was a warrant out of Jefferson County, but they didn't. They picked him up again because they knew, okay, well, let's see how far we can push it. They've already gotten $30,000 in cash for bail for him. If they really wanted to keep him, they would. They're just trying to see if they can push it. They don't care. Ed, I know a lot of people see it that way. But I mean, all they're trying to do is trying to push it. They're trying to see how much money people will give up. They're trying to see if people will cough up the cash. They don't care either way. They knew that he would show up for court tomorrow because he's not going to risk $30,000 in existing bails. So, they're going to keep pushing and keep pushing. Ed, yeah, I don't know exactly what the warrant is for. I have not been able to find that out. But yes, he did have two charges dismissed, and then he got convicted on the other two charges, and then he had the felony retaliation pending, which is, I assume that's what they picked him up for now, some kind of warrant related to that. As far they're honestly they're laughing all the way to the bank because they're like, look, these people are going to keep bailing him out, so let's keep giving him bail. You know, all that does for them is that guarantees that the court costs will be paid and any fines will be paid. Well, yeah, Alex, but it's kind of makes no sense because he was already bonded out on that. That's where the confusion is that he was already bonded out for that charge. So how are they giving him a warrant for that same charge? Yeah, Ed, a lot of us, I mean, even Eric was joking about it. You know, people were saying, oh, 12 hours, 16 hours, 18 hours. I mean, I had a feeling they were going to pick him up again. I just didn't think it would be in less than, what was it, like 20 hours, 19 hours? Oh, God, WTT. I mean, I know not everybody agrees with his style, including me. I don't approve of the extremes he's gone to, and I've said as much to him. It's just, this is blatantly obvious. They're just trying to push it. Well, Patrick, if they're getting too extreme, then obviously I don't want the channel full of garbage. Time out first, and then if they keep pushing it, fine. News Nebraska, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, I can't discuss particulars of the case because I'm not fully apprised of all of the particulars, so I don't want to misspeak. Well, Flathead, I figured, Mouse would be playing my video over and over again. I'm pretty sure he's turned on by it. But the bottom line is they can look at some of the things he's done as they don't even have to say retaliation. They could say menacing. I mean, there's a lot they can say. He's playing my video. Maybe I should hit him with a copyright strike. Well, that's what I mean, Steve. I've said before that he's made a lot of real change. He's gotten laws changed. He's gotten case law, all without any type of violence, saying anything about, violence. Why can't they just continue that trend? Like I said, I mean, he knows I've made it very clear. I don't approve of the extremes he's gone to. Well, Flathead, maybe I should have him arrested for it. First Amendment Mike, he's a fool. Guys, I mean, like I said, I'm Patrick. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, but I mean, the bottom line is he's we all saw this coming. I mean, we all figured that they were going to pick him up for something, whatever. They'd find a reason. Well, Patrick, I don't even see her, so whatever. This ain't about any people's opinions on anybody. We're talking about what just happened and what our thoughts are on the subject. So let's not drag off into some other big argument about something else. I mean, he wants to know who I was working for. I don't know. Pick a government agency. I'm sure he probably thinks that, you know, I took down the towers with water balloons. Yes, ever. SMC, I don't know what you're talking about. Sudi, no, he's not. He just got rearrested like an hour or so ago. Well, you know, Jimmy, people have been telling him he's delusional for several years now. So, yeah, First Amendment Mike, he won't go on anyone's panel but his own because he doesn't have control. So, Florida, how you been? Script Kitty, yeah, I sabotaged his efforts by telling the truth. Oh, poor me. Yeah, he seems to think that that's a badge of honor. He seems to think that the more thumbs down he gets, the more he'll come up in suggested videos. Somebody fed him that ridiculously false information. Nebraska. It's just ridiculous. I mean, whether you're talking about Miles or you're talking about Eric's arrest, it's still ridiculous. But either way, I mean, what's up, POT? Taryn? Still laugh at that name. The funny thing is, I can just see somebody having that name and it not clicking, you know? Somebody like gets hired and the boss, you know, you get hired and they're like, okay, everybody, this is Taryn Dixoff. I could just picture that and it would be freaking hilarious. Yeah, dude, he was killing me with that martial arts stuff, man. He is so obviously fake. He doesn't know anything about martial arts. And the only person to back him up on it is Star, who he feeds words into her mouth. He'll say stuff like, you know, Star, remember when I was doing those moves back then? Nobody was doing those moves, right, Star? Right? You know, like forcing her to say yes because she doesn't want to be rude. I mean, it's just ridiculous. He's a fraud. I'd be amazed if he ever got past white belt. Taryn. Well, Patrick, that's what I'm saying. I just ignore. I mean, I don't even know who you were talking about, so I'm guessing it's somebody I have on block. Yeah, right, businessman. Hey, Robert Scott. Well, I mean, some of us have pests, but, when you're lying about it every single day, that's just ridiculous. Hey, Chicago PD Transparency. It's a new name I haven't seen. And then some people are changing their dang names. Like News Now OKC changed his name. All of a sudden, it popped up on my phone, and I saw his picture, and I'm going, wait a minute, what the heck? I didn't realize he had changed it. Patrick, we're here to talk about, well, the people are talking about Mouse because I just released a video on Mouse like an hour ago, 2 hours ago. So that's why the topic of Mouse keeps coming up. So, I mean, it makes sense that people are talking about a video that I just released. So, sorry if you don't agree. I'm just saying. As far as Eric, there's only so much we can say. The reality is he was picked up on a warrant. From as far as somebody posted, the warrant is related to his retaliation charge. Hey, Rising Sun. I mean, they posted $35,000 cash only bail. You know, the question becomes, I mean, at the very least, I think they should wait to see what happens tomorrow. I mean, realistically, are we ever going to be able to raise 35 grand before his court time tomorrow? Now, does anybody know exactly what tomorrow is? Is that the start of his trial or what? Is anybody aware of what information that is? Yeah, if he missed it, eyes on corruption, but he wouldn't miss that. Eric is fully aware of the fact that he has to go through this trial. I mean, he knows that. Yeah, he okay. He did say, "I'm sorry. I knew he had court tomorrow, but I didn't know if it was the start of his trial or what. I must have missed where he said that." Sixth Estate. No, I mean, I don't think he would. Eyes on corruption. I don't think he would intentionally miss that, especially since he knows it would forfeit the 30 grand. I don't know who Lacey R is, but the way the cash bails work is it's held in trust in the courts as long as you show up. Hey, Michigan, as long as you show up for your trial dates and all that, you don't try to skip town, you don't cut off your ankle monitor, any of that stuff. As long as you show up and all that, once the case is concluded, barring any court fees, which there's always court fees, or any fines if he's convicted, whatever remains from that $30,000 that's been paid out will be returned to Eric. So MIB, he had a warrant. They ambushed him with an unmarked, two undercovers. But as far as returning the money to anybody else, that's between him and them. Donkey's in here? I didn't see him in there. Huh. I still don't. Stupid top chat versus live chat. Hey, Donkey, what's up, man? Yeah, I mean, you just have to understand, oh, hey, Monkey. The fact is, they ambushed him. Like I said again, it was a warrant at Jefferson. Monkey, do you know what the exact reason is for the warrant? Somebody said it was for his retaliation thing, but that doesn't make sense. He was already out on bond for that. So, was this a bail revocation warrant or something else? Yeah, I know. I don't know if Liberty started another pool or not. He mentioned that he might. Well, that's Monkey. That's odd. Why would they arrest him for that? I mean, that was an assault on him. I remember that. Huh. Well, that would explain the swatting on Pender, huh? Yeah, it figures it's a bullshit warrant. I mean, they were just looking for any reason. Well, that's just it, me though. I mean, it's really up to Eric more than anything how far people go. Well, whether or not Eric would even want people to try to raise that money or not. I know he was talking about trying to help Otto. Hey, OKC or OCW, sorry. So he may very well want people to help Otto instead of him. But I mean, yeah, he does, MIB. You're absolutely right there, man. They want to do whatever they can to silence him. All right, Flo. No, CW. Yeah, I mean it's really a matter of what Liberty. I'm assuming that Eric has talked to the Monkey and Liberty and them. They know better what Eric would want than I would do. So whatever they decide, ain't never. I mean, Monkey had said it was from that incident related to when Eric had hot water poured on his feet. It was a day when they were all in downtown and they were all chalking on the sidewalk. And I don't remember if it was that corner bakery or another spot, but they had come out with hot water, splashing it down on the ground to wash off the writing. And it was hot water. You could see it steaming. and it splashed. And Eric was barefoot at the time, and it did splash on him. I mean, Eric did make a point of pointing out that they just hit him with hot water. Sup, RAS? Buyer. Well, there you go. Monkey knows what's going on down there with them guys. So, I mean, no matter what, obviously he's going to be in for his court case tomorrow. Okay, so it's not the retaliation that's the court case tomorrow? Never. I'm just going to scratch my head and just, act like I understood what you meant. What's up, Rod? Do I think he's taking on too much at once? Well, I mean, I can only guess. I mean, personally, if it was me, I would clear my cases before I pushed anymore, but that's just me. I can't really speak for anybody else. I mean, no matter what, Eric has made changes in the past. He's gotten laws changed. He's done a lot of really good throughout his activism years. Okay, Neba, so like me saying clear your cases. Like I said, I mean, Taryn, that I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about on that one. You know, Stunt Daddy, Stummy, like I said, man, everybody's got their own views on it. It is what it is. I've already said many times, I don't agree with the extremes he's gone to. I've said it before. You know, it's like what Kelly's just said about going online right after just getting out on $20,000 bond. Was it really a good idea to go live and say those things? That's an opinion based thing. Again, personally, I wouldn't do that, but that's just me. I love when people leave me comments that say shit like, why don't you just call this channel what it really is? Assholes with cameras. Really? Took a whole lot of brain power to come up with that. WTT, I know, that's what I'm saying. It's all relative. I mean, it's all up to the supporters. You know, if people want to donate, they can donate. That's their choice. You know, I can't try to sway them one way or the other because it's really up to them. AT Dog. Eric, you know, just earlier today, Eric was talking about turning himself in and rescinding the bond to donate the money towards Otto. Now, whether or not that's a good idea or not, I don't know. That's not up to me. Is it a nice gesture? Yeah. What's the matter? Follow the law. You getting mad? Nobody's giving you attention. What do you mean, WTT? I've already said flat out. I said back when they were trying to raise the $20,000 bond that this is the public defenders are laughing all the way to the bank. You know, they want people to donate all this money to get Eric out because they know that that money will be there if they choose or if they convict Eric and they give him any type of fines. They're just going to take it right out of that bond money. You know, so I mean, you know, people are going to choose that. And that idiot's still riding my dick on that freaking on my last video. Sorry, it just kind of came up in my one list. He's sitting there playing my video, probably getting all hot and bothered about it. But I mean, we all know. Okay, yeah, I got your email, Mizo. But I mean, yeah, they're not just going to hand back that money. No, absolutely not. They're going to try anything they can to keep it. That's what they're going to try to do, which is why they just gave him another bond instead of just saying hold him over for trial. Because no matter what, he's looking at a felony, which they can hold him over for trial on. So they are doing this on purpose. They want to raise all this money. They want people to give all that money to the court. Because, I mean, we've all said it at one point or another, in one way or another. We're all pretty sure they're going to find him guilty on that retaliation against the judge. I mean, you know, it is what it is. You know, the way he reacted, you know, pretty much any jury is going to see that footage and say, yeah, he's guilty. We all know that juries, they don't really care if you were following the First Amendment. They care about whatever, you know, they see. They see some guy saying this stuff. So most likely they're going to find him guilty. And yeah, it may have been free speech, but juries don't vote by free speech. Look what just happened with the case at the public defender's office. He was found guilty of threats because he got loud with the secretaries. He didn't threaten them, but they felt threatened. So the jury found him guilty on it. That pretty much sets precedence for the retaliation case. So this jury is going to see this footage of what he said outside the courthouse that day. They're not going to say, oh, that was free speech, let him go. They're just going to, you know, they're going to vote from their stomach, you know? They're going to hear what he said and they're going to say, bury him. Well, Monkey, yeah, it's speculation, but I'm going based on the fact that they just convicted him of threats just because he got wild with some secretaries. So, yeah, realistically, when you look at the law, yeah, exactly. But that's what the appeals court is for. You know, right, Arias, that's my point. I was just going to say he's most likely they're going to convict him just because that's what juries do, and he's going to have to fight it on appeal. Now, fighting it on appeal is when they get more in depth and they really start to look at the laws more and things like that. That's when. No, Kelly, I don't know who you're talking to. I already said that I agree with you. Follow the law. You're just jealous that Pinder doesn't like you. Yeah, Monkey, she's talking about when Eric was streaming earlier, and he did say some things that were along the same lines of what the retaliation case was for. Mito, I don't know if you emailed me again or not. I mean, yeah, but the fact is, juries are not going to sit there and say, "Oh, let's pull up the Bill of Rights, let's pull up the Constitution, let's read what it says, and then go by that." No, most of the time, juries just want to go home. They're going to see a guy standing outside a courthouse, waving the flag that he was waving, yelling what he was yelling, and they're not going to care about the First Amendment. They should, yes, absolutely, they should. But the fact is, most of the time, they don't. Everybody I've ever known that was on a jury duty, they all said the same thing, that everybody just complained about going home. I don't know of a single person that sat on a jury where they actually said, hey, let's analyze all the data. Let's try to go from there. No. Yes, we all agree they should analyze it. They should compare it to the law. Compare act versus law. That's exactly what they should do. So it would be wonderful if they did that. I mean, there would be far less need for this type of activism if they actually did that. The reality is, you got 12 people that at least 10 of them are going to want to just get out of there and go home. Yeah, I know, POT, they never picked me either. But these people are just going to want to go home. They're going to see a video of a guy standing out on a sidewalk, waving that flag, yelling what he yelled. Now, yes, it was free speech. He did not actually threaten anybody. I remember it very well. I was watching it when he did it. I even said, "Man, that's really cutting the line. That's really pushing the limits." I said that right in his channel when he said it. But juries aren't going to look at that and say, "Well, the First Amendment says blah." They're going to say, "Man, that guy, why would he do that? Why would he yell like that? Why did he say those things? Man, I want to go home and see my wife and kids." You know what I mean? Mouse couldn't fight my big toe. Hello, Andy. He can, yeah, I know. He's over there spanking his monkey watching my video. I get it. I don't care. Mouse is trash. He couldn't beat anybody. People offered to fly him to Texas to face Steve Pinder, and he still chickened out. Yeah, I mean, the bottom line, guys, we can all, I mean, just look at it from the perspective of the average Joe, not from the perspective of an activist that really believes in the First Amendment. The average Joe, when most auditors run into the average Joe, based on the thousands of videos that are out there, most of them don't want to be bothered. They don't know the law. They say you can't film me without my permission. Those are the same people that are on the jury. That's why a lot of auditors have said it. It said, remember, whatever you say, a jury will see. No matter what, somebody somewhere is recording every one of these videos that we post. If nobody can come up with the money to bail him out, then he will have to stay in until the case is resolved one way or the other. Don't you hate when you drop something and it just disappears? It's like, there's a freaking gremlin sitting there waiting to grab whatever drops. But the reality is, guys, this jury is not going to look at it from the perspective of an activist. They're going to look at it from the perspective of the average Joe that wants to go home. Yes, we can hope that the jury believes in the First Amendment, or we can hope that the judge believes in the First Amendment, because the judge still has the authority to overturn a jury's verdict. The bottom line is the jury's going to look at what went on that day. Now, personally, I hope I'm the best, but I don't have a lot of faith in the jury. Well, I mean, yeah, I've said it. I don't agree with the extremes he's gone to. I don't. I think, anything calling for violence, I don't agree with. That's my opinion. I think that he's pushed the limit about as far as it can be pushed, perhaps too far. I don't want to see him in jail. I don't wish that he stays in jail. I hope, his jury looks at it properly from the legal perspective. Do I have a lot of faith in the jury doing that? No, I don't. Honestly, I don't. I think the jury's going to look at it, see a guy yelling and waving that kind of flag, and they're just going to say, man, this guy's a lunatic, and they're going to bury him. That's what I think is going to happen, based on the fact that his other trial, he was found guilty within minutes. The jury went back less than 5 minutes. And he did not threaten the secretaries. He just got loud with them. They said they felt threatened. So based on that, because that's a pretty good indicator of what a jury is going to act like. MD, he's never pushed it this far. Eric has never pushed it nearly this far. This goes way beyond any case that I've ever seen him involved in. And I've gone all the way back to the paper terrorist cases. He has never pushed the limit like this. And I don't agree with him pushing it that far. It may come to bite him in the ass that he pushed it that far. I don't know. I don't wish that on him. Hey, Kim. Hope James is doing well. But I mean, all I say is, I'm looking at it from the perspective of the average Joe. I don't think the jury's going to say, "Hey, that's protected speech. Let him go." That's my opinion. I don't wish that would happen, but I don't think that will happen. And yes, I do believe he's pushed it too far. He didn't threaten the judge. He said things that were pushing it too far, and I consider to be inappropriate, but he didn't actually threaten anyone. As far as it being on video, it's been pulled. Strategic move. I think that I would have done too. You're right, MD. My own children. My daughter, who just graduated high school this past year, doesn't know anything about the Constitution beyond what she's learned from me. Yeah, Don Corleone, I agree with that. I think that you have to use a strategic mind when you're out there. You have to consider all options. You know, when a cop is approaching you, you have to consider, okay, am I going to end up in jail? If I do I have money for bond? Do I have a ride? You have to consider all these things. RS, let me make sure I'm reading you right. SCOTUS is not going to allow Eric Brandt's antics overturn a century of case law built. Well, if by that you mean they're not going to let him get convicted, you're probably right on appeal. I think on appeal, yeah, I think he'll win. But on initial trial with a jury trial, I honestly I can't find the confidence to think that he will win that. On appeal, yeah, on appeal, I believe that he will win because that's when it will be truly analyzed. Honestly, in a way, it maybe end up being a good thing if he ends up getting convicted and then goes to the appellate court and maybe even pushes it straight through Supreme Court, he could end up with another set of case law. So, I mean, in a way, in the long run, this could end up having positive ramifications rather than negative. I'm not a Brandt hater. I support all the good he's done in the past. I don't support the way he acts now. I just can't. Kim Morehouse, I'm sorry, I'm not ignoring you. Bottom line is they issued a warrant for Eric and rearrested him less than 24 hours after he just bailed out on $20,000. So now he's looking at $35,000 on top of what he's already paid. Yeah, exactly, Don. But you also don't see those two saying the things that Eric says. You don't see those two waving the signs that Eric waves. That's what I mean. I think Eric has just pushed it too far. Now, yes, I believe he'll win on appeal, but I don't think he'll win initial jury trial. Well, Hawkeye, they always have mouths. Yes, it does have its limitations. Like I said, I mean, if you were there and you listened to what he said, Kim, I don't know the specifics on what the warrant was for. Hey, Dimitri. Sorry, enjoy MP3s. I apologize. Hey, Tay. But yeah, I mean, either way, I think it's one of those things. It's going to end up having to go to the appellate court, possibly even the Supreme Court. Well, Son W, I've been saying that too. Some people, it just gets to them, the fandom and the thousands of people yelling, do this, do that, do this, do that. Would Eric have acted this way had his supporters not pushed that hard? Yep, Tay, that's exactly what they did. He didn't even make it 24 hours. Yep, that's exactly right, Steve. Sing a song, sing a new song. Thank you. I try. If anybody feels like throwing any super chats out there, go for it. My super chats are trapped on YouTube because I haven't hit the $100 minimum. I hate that they have that. Call it vegan if you want. I don't care. Well, I don't know. I don't know how that all works, Josiah. I'm not sure what the court costs are on that. Jimmy, no, I didn't blame them for egging him on. I said, what do you people think about Eric's reaction to them cheering him on? I didn't say egging him on. I said cheering him on. Because there were a lot of people in the channel that kept yelling, do this, do that, do this, do that. Some people, they just want to make the viewers happy. Do you guys think that that's the case here? All right, Steve. Thanks, MP3s. That is a friend of mine in the real world. See, Arias, I don't, I've had to deal with that in the past, but honestly, back then I had a really good job, and so I didn't really care. But I mean, I'm not sure what kind of court costs he's looking at as far as appellate court. Yeah, see, just me again. That's what I said. I don't agree with those extremes. I would never advocate for violence towards anybody, ever. Allison, I don't know honestly if he is, he has not expressed that. I just, it's one of those things. The question hangs over his head. Did he push it too far? I think this time he may well have. Just me. Which bond are you referring to? I mean, the $20,000 bond was paid. So that money is now in trust. Stunt W, you may well be right. Honestly, that's not one of the things he's expressed to me. And I did talk to him for a little while and text earlier. He didn't seem to be down at all. Yeah, RS, you're right. I know. I agree with you, man. But I still say, when it comes to a jury trial, the jury is not controlled by the Constitution. They should be, but they're not. They're controlled by their own personal views and their want to be done with jury duty. Yeah, Vinny, I mean, I'm not going to reiterate what he had said, but it's definitely something I never would have said, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, Kelly, unfortunately, that's, expecting a lawyer to convince 12 people that that Eric knows the Constitution better than the courts do, that's a very big thing to push for. Because in essence, that's exactly what has to happen. You know, that's literally what has to happen. Eric or his lawyer has to convince the jury that he understands the Constitution better than the courts do. Yes, Pink. Welcome, by the way. But yes, they had an unmarked with two undercovers waiting for him to get off the train. Snatched him up on a warrant. $35,000 cash only. Hey Kim, how you doing? Brain. Yeah, I know, Pink. He's got court tomorrow. It's Monkey said it's related to, well, WTT. Yeah, it's related to that day he was downtown and they were sidewalk talking, and the guy threw hot water on Eric's feet. The bottom line is, like I said, they want people to pay these bonds. They want people to come up with this cash. They know how draining that is on this community, first off. They know that. They're sitting there laughing all the way to the bank, knowing that people just struggled to raise a $20,000 bond for him. Now he's sitting on a $35,000 bond. And they're just waiting to see if somebody comes up with that money. They don't care if they do or don't. All they care about is that money is sitting in trust. So if and when he's convicted, they're probably going to try to put a fine in there on him somehow. And if there are any fines, that comes out of the bail money. Hey, Utah. So any fines that they are holding, they can take all court costs and fines out of. You can bet your ass they're going to fine him something. I would not be one bit surprised if they fined him every penny of bail that was paid. Oh, goody, Taryn. I did dirty things, huh? Mouse is just desperate to try to get attention because he knows I spoke the truth about him. Well, Kelly, you may be right. I don't know. I mean, I know everybody's entitled to their own opinion on that. I mean, it is what it is. Personally, I was amazed that they raised the first $10,000. Yeah, Taryn, I know. He'll be pulling his putt at my video all night. He just can't get enough of me. But, I mean, yeah, I know. But that's just it. There's other people, people still waiting to get paid back, other people that need help, and so on. So, when do you say, I'm drawing the line, let's move on, or whatever? That's everybody's opinion. They're entitled to their own opinions. My beanie? This ain't a beanie. It's just a regular old winter cap. I just didn't feel like brushing my damn hair. It's the only hat I got. I would destroy Mouse in one hit. That I can guarantee you. Yeah, exactly. I know. That's what I keep saying. Yes, he's been arrested over 100 times. No, he has not served any type of long prison sentence. He's also never pushed it this far. This is quite literally a case that needs to go automatically to the appellate or the Supreme Court. I just don't think he's going to get a fair jury trial. I'm sorry, but that's my opinion. Yep, they are, Utah. That's exactly what they want to do. They want to make an example out of him. I don't think that'll matter, Allison. Not in this case. Yeah, I know, RES. I agree with you. Wilma. Mouse wants to show off his special martial art that nobody's ever heard of and nobody's ever seen before, that only has 4 belts. Yeah, big tough guy. WTT, man. I don't think that being gay will really help him in jail. I can't, I mean, maybe, but I personally, I don't think it would. Look, guys, I mean, the end result is everybody makes their own decisions. You know, if you decide you want to help his bond, that's your choice. If you decide you don't want to, that's also your choice. See, RES, unfortunately, you know, yeah, the Bill of Rights and all that, they say these things. Yes, open and shut. We'd love to believe that. The reality is it doesn't work that way. Unfortunately, it doesn't. The reality is you have to fight it tooth and nail to reach a level of court where you can even vocalize these things, let alone have it under consideration. That's unfortunate. I agree with you that they should consider it at every level. I agree. But the fact is, they don't. I'm not a YouTube lawyer. Hell no. I got no problem giving my opinions, but I never give legal advice. RAS, you're right, though. I mean, it's hard, man. It's just unfortunate that this country has. I mean, look at the fact of separation of church and state. Yet our very own Declaration of Independence has religion brought up in it. Yeah, I know, Arias. That's what I'm saying. But a lot of people don't understand that. So buyer of sorts, beware mouse is his name. Watch my last video if you really would care. I mean, the guy's a fool. He's a fraud. Lies about everything. He's a joke. That's my opinion. He's going to try to have me arrested and say I'm harassing him because I gave my opinion. He's not in here. He's too afraid to come in here. He was invited on my last stream and he chickened out. But at any rate, guys, I'm gonna hop off of here, and I'm gonna go like watch paint dry or something more exciting than talking about Miles. I think we pretty much beat the dead horse on the Eric topic. I mean, I hope I hope him the best. I'm just worried that unfortunately he won't get the consideration that he should. I'm not starting a money pool. No. But if anybody wants to donate to me, they can go ahead. I don't mind. I'm not gonna lie. My GoFundMe link is in the description of the video. A 1.5 hour transmission video? Nah, I mean I'll take a peek at it, man. I probably honestly won't watch the entire thing because it's an hour and a half long, and my attention span just isn't the same as it used to be. Sal one, if you don't like it, you can leave. Funny, you probably sat here through the entire stream. Taryn. Yeah, I know, right? WTT? Quite a few people like to recycle insults. Personally, I just don't care. 2D, now you might want to save that. I'm pretty sure you'll need it later. So, at any rate, I wish Eric the best. And, guys, keep an eye out on Monkey and Liberty Freak TV's channels in case they decide to do a pool. So, I mean, I'm sure that, they know what's best on what they're going to do. So, until then, just keep your fingers crossed and, he's got, wish Eric the best on his trial tomorrow. So we'll all hope them all the best. But appreciate y'all hanging out in here with me for a little while and just shooting the breeze. And special thanks to Mouse. I'm sure he's still over there pulling his pud watching my video. But he'll have to take a break sometime. So talk with y'all later.